Hola. So the class of 65 will be blowing out 65 candles this year. Some of you may be grandparents, but to me, you will always be kids. Looking over the names of you who are attending this reunion, so many faces and events fill the screen of my mind. Weekends water skiing in Tequesquitengo, weekends of games and travesuras at Camp Camomila in Tepoztlan, floating down Las Estacas River in an old inner tube, lunch with beer in the cave restaurant at the Pyramids, and of course, school dances. Don and I were chaperones at all these events. You girls must remember the wonderful fashion show Lila Bath agreed to put on for the benefit of the scholarship fund when I was president of the PTA. No doubt you may still have one of Lila's dresses or outstanding beach clothes. She put Mexican-inspired fashion on the world market. Believe it or not, as a great-grandmother, I am now an author. In fact, my latest book, Forging a Nation, The Story of Mexico from the Aztecs to the Present, is creating its own history on Amazon.com. I wrote it in English because I want my paisanos on the other side of the border to understand what Mexico had to go through and survive to become the fragile democracy it is today. I want them to awaken to a different way of viewing Mexico. I'm sure each of you who now live in the States has a deep nostalgia for Mexico buried in your heart. Chiles rellenos, tacos con carnitas, y un caldo caliente before going home after a night de parranda or relajo. A good clap on the back from a friend's abrazo, the apapacho from the girls, their mothers, and a pilon from the marchantas in the market. Songs like Cuando Calienta el Sol. I'm sure you all went to Acapulco in its heyday. And of course, the night of your graduation party. All of us mothers had a telephone by our bedsides when the 2 o'clock limit stretched to dawn. Back to my book. You can help me with your view of how we can improve Mexico-U.S. relations with a better understanding of this wonderful country which is so loved by us all. When you buy a book, together we are donating $2 to support the Alumni Annual Scholarship Drive and give a child or children the right to reap the benefits of the American school as all of you did and I did too. Reading my book, you will learn a lot about Mexico which may suddenly stand out and help explain why Mexico is the way it is. So most of you are going to be 65 this year. I'm 92. So you're a little more than 2/3 along the way of this incredible path of botches and up and down travel, which is life. You may be ready to rush out and collect your Social Security check, but you know what? This is a time to let your creative juices start flowing. Dig up an old dream and make it happen. Look around and find a new dream. I had always wanted to write a book, but never had time or the real inspiration to simply get started and do it. I published my first book when I was 75, and guess what? It became a bestseller. 200,000 copies have been sold in Mexico, and A la Sombra del Ángel is now considered a classic and will soon be a telenovela. So, mis queridos kids, it's time to let all those creative juices flow and make the next 50 years the best years of your life. Con abrazos y besos, Mrs. Blair, Kathryn. Wentz now Reed, and Vivian's mom. Felicidades.